The 4-map rotation that we are going to be getting in our patch tomorrow will be implemented in MPL. It is going to be so fun to watch and cast. On another hand, good luck players and good luck coaches.
When a match starts, players will be notified of the battlefield mechanic that's in effect before hero selection.
As you can see here, right, you will not know what map you end up queuing into. It will be randomly decided during the draft, right? And that's what will happen in ranked play. How does that work for pro play? And I will tell you guys right now, it works the exact same. The players and coaches will only know what map they are playing on when the draft for that game starts. You have to prepare strategies for every map because you do not know which one you are playing until you are on that stage. So here is Broken Walls.
And giving heroes without blink a chance to shine.
So my direct first impression of Broken Walls is that this is a tank jungler map. Right? This will probably be a bad map for assassins actually. Because one of the things that make assassins thrive is their ability to like dash over walls very quickly compared to other like types of heroes. So with less walls to have to deal with, slower, bulkier heroes are going to have an easier time traversing the map, which means that the jungle becomes very unsafe. So that is my current impression of Broken Walls. I feel like this is going to be a very like tank jungle heavy map. For heroes like Johnson and Fanny as well, they basically have to retrain themselves, right? Johnson and Fanny players have become very, very used to how they're supposed to drive or fly around certain parts of the map. But on this map, the walls are completely different, which means that you may have to like completely retrain yourself. And depending on how it goes, Fanny might end up becoming better or worse, depending on whether or not pro players can find like new flying paths for the hero. Also, Ling is dead. You will never see Ling on this map. He is just never going to be worth playing on this map at all. Grok might be quite solid because he's the only hero that can actually generate terrain besides Badang, of course, but Grox is less conditional. So he might be able to make up for some of the lack of wallage with his own. But that one will require some time to say.
When dangerous grass is in play,
this is going to be a big one, I feel like.
With bushes.
Also, I'll say right now, this fudging bush right here, I cannot fudging believe they put a bush right here. Like, that is an insane place to put a bush. I can't believe they put a bush here. So, we already discussed this earlier. This is most likely going to be a Natalia, Saber, Eudora one-shot hero type map. It's also going to be very good for Hilda and Selena, because you need heroes that can open bushes very easily. So once again, we're going to see a prioritization towards general tank roamers. I think it's going to be very unlikely we see utility roam on this map. I feel like going healer roam is very risky here. Especially since we'll probably also see Loyi and Chip do pretty well. This is very much a vision play. So we're going to see heroes like Novaria maybe pop up a bit more. But it's also risky because there's more bushes that they have to play around. Yeah, Yi Sun-shin and Zetian for vision are also going to go very hard on dangerous grass. We'll see a lot of setter roams, yes. Also, like, dude, I can't... You really need a proper team comp for this, because if you don't have enough heroes to not just protect your jungler, but also keep an eye on this bush in the back, you're just going to get stolen from. But in my opinion, it's not the worst map yet. I'll say right now, this is not the worst map yet.
So proceed with caution.
Saber's spot? Yeah, that's Saber's spot.
Dreamed of soaring.
Okay, I'm gonna say right now, this is the most bullshit one of all of them. We've already talked about how removing the walls are gonna affect things. We've talked about how putting bushes is going to affect things. But if you ask me from a personal perspective, this is actually the most bullshit of the 4 maps. I cannot believe This is going to be in pro play. I can't, like, dude, if you told me this was going to be in ranked play, I wouldn't believe it. This is the most arcadey mode I have ever seen. And they're putting it in ranked and pro play. If I am not wrong, you are untargetable on that cloud, which is stupid to me. And like what ICGX mentioned earlier, it incentivizes setter roams, so Tigreal was like their showcase hero for this particular map. Makes a lot of sense. It's going to be very good for heroes that typically will rely on Flicker to do setups. So setter tanks that always relied quite heavily on Flicker, like Tigreal and Atlas, will benefit from this quite a lot. This will also be very good for generally slow split pushers. I can actually see this being a map that's good for things like Zilong. Because, like basically auto attack based heroes that have low mobility and need a way to flank are going to benefit from this, right? So things like Zilong, Argus, who will typically get kited around, will probably benefit from this map. This is probably going to be very bad for artillery mages. Things like Farsa, Xavier, Novaria. But while your team is trying to siege the base and you're using Feathered Airstrike in the backline, the fudging cloud comes out of nowhere and Zilong drops on top of you and you just die in one hit. This is the map that I feel like is going to be the most difficult for me to predict, like the good and the bad. Because it really comes down to individual team creativity. Dude, I can't believe I have to cast this.
Currents will appear when the Lord spawn.
Mandatory Wilderness Blessing. This will probably have the least overall impact on the game. And since they also expand into the jungle, we are going to see generally more fast-paced gameplay. So I do think that Assassins will probably benefit the most from this one. EXP can rotate safer. That's also true. Yeah. Basically, this is the fast rotation map. This is the early game map. This is the turtle control, like objective oriented map. This is actually probably a good map to go fighter go lane on, actually thinking about it. Because you want to win lanes, rotate fast, and just snowball the game really hard. Like this very first week of Project Next is going to be like the experiment zone. I am so excited for it. But I still can't, dude, I can't believe I have to cast fudging flying clouds. This is a case of Moonton being like, hey, we added river currents to make like objective controls more important and increase the speed of the game. And then Moonton saw that the players weren't actually like abusing it all that much, so they're like, alright, we're gonna make like 80% of the map the river. Here you go. You're gonna use it now. And on top of all of this, we have a new hero and 3 hero revamps. MLBB outdid themselves this time around. My god, I have so much studying to do, guys. I'm gonna have so much studying to do, it's insane.